Hey, what's up, everybody? Digibro here. I know you're thinking, this is Digibro After Dark. It looks like the middle of the day, and you're still wearing the sunglasses. Well, I'll have you know, it is. I can't read time. I can't. The sunglasses. My monitor's so dark. I can't read the time with the sunglasses on. It is 8:28 a.m. I've been up all night, uh, drinking wine, rendering videos, uploading videos, and watching H3H3 Productions and Ethan and Hila videos. And it just so happened I was watching one of their videos, and I started Googling Ethan Klein and also myself. And then I noticed they had a video about them Googling themselves. I noticed that right after I was just Googling them. And I watched that video and I thought, that could be fun. Because everyone who works online Googles themselves all the time to find out what kind of stuff will come up. And so I'm pretty well acquainted with the stuff that comes up when you Google me, but only when you Google my name. They were also doing stuff like typing, is H3H3 and stuff like that, and seeing what it would auto complete with. So I'm gonna start with that actually. I want because I've never done that before. Is Digibro? Oh, I typed id. Is Digibro still a brony? It's the first question. I gotta click on it. Where does it lead to? Digibrony wanting to die out of the fandom. This is on some MLP forum. How old is this? This is from 2014. So like right after. Oh, this is before I even stopped making pony videos. Huh. Encyclopedia Dramatica. I'm not surprised. I'm pretty sure I know who wrote this article, but this Encyclopedia Dramatica article is kind of funny because the person who made it, they made it right after my channel went down. Like, there was a period in early 2015 where my channel went down, and I'd made these videos about it, like just telling people that my channel went down and where to find me now, and that I was moving my videos around and stuff. And somebody who clearly doesn't like me very much, like, made this whole Encyclopedia Dramatica page like about that. Like, the only thing that they, like, of all the things they could have made an Encyclopedia Dramatica page about, like, the myriad insane amounts of embarrassing shit I've posted on the internet, and they went for this moment my channel went down, which, if anything, is a moment where, like, I feel like I had the most sympathy for myself, because I'd just been, like, wronged by YouTube, and it was a really odd thing to make fun of me for, when there's so much better stuff out there, like I've made so many things that if I was making this page, it would be so detailed, it would go on forever, it would just be an endless supply of shit I've made. So yeah, it's like the weirdest, like, this is like the most tame Encyclopedia Dramatica page ever. It kind of makes me sad in a way. I mean, I guess I'm thankful that my takedown campaign is so tame, but yeah, it's kind of odd. All right. Well, I guess I know what it is if I type is Digibro. I'll just show you guys the regular Digibro stuff, because there's some funny things in here that I wanted to sort of talk about. Obviously, the main stuff I get is like my channel, Digidoes Anime, my Twitter, my anime list profile, and then we get to this site that's a wiki for YouTube channels. It's Wikitubia, and I find this profile fucking hilarious. It's not very long, but all right. So it starts off. Digibro is an anime YouTuber who is known for his overcritical and analytical breakdowns of not only anime series and movies, but also of the anime medium as a whole, as well as for his outspoken and opinionated nature. Real objective review of me. He's overcritical and analytical. So yeah, it shows what the person who wrote this, like, what their opinion of my content is, which I find really fucking hilarious. Uh, he has two other channels called Digidoes Anime and Digibro After Dark, where he occasionally posts other videos, but Digibro is his main channel. Conrad, it didn't introduce that my real name is Conrad, but it just switched to Conrad. Conrad makes money off of his videos and has a Patreon, which, with the combined funds, allows him to make a living off of YouTube, which is true. It's got links to my Patreon, my Reddit board. Let's make sure that's an accurate link. Yeah. So, okay. Obviously, I have more channels than what they think I have. I have Digibros, which is my Let's Play channel. That and the other three are the ones they named are the only active ones, but I do have plenty of other inactive channels. Well, no, Modal Soul Productions is technically still active, which is my old channel before I started YouTubing as a career. Modal MODAL space HSOUL space Productions. It was my original channel. I still post stuff there, like when me and Victor make videos together, it usually goes there. Just stuff that doesn't really fit on the other channels. Although I've thought about uploading some of those videos to this channel because there's some that we've been making more recently that are really good, and I feel bad about them kind of wallowing away on that channel that nobody watches. But yeah, so I've got more channels that they don't know about. Alright, here we go. Good friends on YouTube. This is really weird. Number 1 is Nino, who I know Nino. I talk to Nino. I'd consider him a friend on YouTube. Not my number 1 friend. Number 2, that anime snob, who has a very public feud with me. Holden Reviews, who I've talked to maybe twice ever in Nino's streams. The Anime Zone, I've literally never heard of. No idea what that is. Glass Reflection, I've never talked. I think I've talked to him once also in a Nino stream. Never really talked to him before. Happy Lee Aaron, who I guest starred in one episode of Manga Pod. I've never talked to her outside of that. I was invited by Lou Talks Anime, who is another person on that podcast. Yokurama Game Talk, never heard of that. And Press Heart to Continue, which is Dodger, who is also a part of Manga Pod. Again, never talked to her outside of Manga Pod. So those are my good friends on YouTube. Let's not mention the 8 people that I have a regular podcast with that I've done, like, innumerable collaborations with, you know. Let's not make the list Endless Jess, Best Guy Ever, Hypocrite, Tommy Oliver, The Devu, my fucking editor, who am I missing from that list? Mage, Jeff, Mother's Basement, more recent. I mean, this article's kind of older. I don't think it's been updated in a long time, but you know, well, it's new enough to have Nino. Mother's Basement's not that much newer than me talking to him. Who did I leave out? I said Hypocrite, right? I think I'm missing somebody. Best Guy Ever, Ben Saint. I didn't say Ben Saint, but he's not a YouTuber. But yeah, those are my good friends on YouTube. History. Conrad is a guy who enjoys analyzing works of fiction, particularly anime. In fact, he states that he probably enjoys analyzing stuff way too much, in quotes. He has several channels which he posts various types of videos to. And then it just kind of describes my 3 channels. Pretty boring descriptions. It just kind of lists off some of the shows I do. And then like there's a video section, which is interesting because it doesn't list videos, it actually lists playlists. So it's all the playlists on my main channel, and then all the playlists on Digi Does Anime, which is this insane number of playlists that are on that channel. So it's really fun. I'm just imagining the guy who had to fucking write all those out. And I like how at first he was writing the like the dropped or on hold like at the end of the title, but then he just kind of gives up like halfway through. Or maybe those don't have it. I think they probably do though. Or maybe those are the no, because Captain Earth's in there. It's not completed. I think he just gave up on fucking typing that out every single time. And the Digibro After Dark, once again, it's just the playlists, which, I mean, all of these playlists have been massively changed, so, like, you know, this is way out of date. But I find this a particularly funny profile. Just the fact that it starts off his overcritical and analytical breakdowns. Not overly, by the way. It doesn't say overly critical. It says overcritical. That's the best part to me. Alright, so then there's also my, the other, like, most of this is my stuff, you know, my subreddit, I'm the one who runs that, an overview of my profile on Reddit, my blog, My Sword is Unbelievably Dull, my Patreon, and then we get to a TV tropes page about me. So this is interesting. It's like the same picture, I think, from the last one. Hold on, let's go back and check that. Was that the same? Was that the same picture from the Wikitubia avatar? It is. It's the same exact picture, but they've cropped it down. All right. Digibro, formerly Digibrony, real name Conrad. So already this is more informative than the Wikitubia article. Is an internet anime critic, primarily known for his critical, detail-oriented videos about various subjects, such as the nature of fan service, what makes a good character, the nature of food-eating scenes in anime, and so on and so forth. Alright, this is a much more objective, nuanced take on my content. I like it. This actually sounds like an article about me. Originally, he ran an anime blog before becoming a part of the MLP analysis community. It was primarily known for his MLP videos. Now, I gotta stop here. I always kind of resent whenever someone describes me as having been a part of the MLP analysis community, because I created it entirely. It was my thing. I made up the idea of My Little Pony analysis. And, but on the one hand, it's fun when I see people who say that, because it means that I've become so distant from it that people don't even realize like what my role was. They just know that I was there, you know? Like there's a lot of people like nowadays, I'm sure, who make MLP analysis videos and have maybe heard of me but have no idea that like I started that as a thing. I was the one who made it a thing. You know, people who were following my example then created a community out of it, and I quickly disassociated myself with that community. So all of its growth was without me, but I'm the one who made that a thing. I just think it's really funny when it says like I became a part of it. It's like, no, I created it. Yeah. And then left. He eventually lost interest in the show and retired as an MLP analyst, choosing to focus entirely on anime, which is not completely true. It's just mostly true. I never planned for my channel to just become an anime channel. It's just that it's by far the easiest thing for me to talk about because I know more about anime than I do about anything else. While he does a lot of analysis on anime he enjoys, he has mostly become famous for his critical and mostly very negative diatribes on Sword Art Online and the Asterisk War, with multiple videos dedicated to pointing out his gripes with both series at length. Now, I find this interesting because, like, I kind of agree that I'm mostly famous for those videos. I think those are the ones that brought the most new viewers in and, like, brought the most subscribers in. But, like, I don't know if you can say that objectively. Like, if there's any way that you could, like, say that through numbers. Like, those are both very popular video series, but, like, by far my most viewed video is the one on why good anime is hard to make. Like, that has well over 1 million views, and my next up has, like, less than 500,000. So, like, if we're talking about, like, my biggest videos, it would be that. And I have a lot of broad concept videos that are pretty big, but definitely I think my negative videos have the most guaranteed audiences. But that the perspective of this post that you're going to realize as it goes along is that whoever made this page only knows me for those videos. That's like the real thing going on here. It's not that they think I'm most famous for that. It's that they mostly know that about me, as becomes evident when we read through the rest of the page. His main YouTube channel can be found here, and he also has 2 other channels, Digidoes Anime and Digibro After Dark. Again, no mention of my Let's Play channel, Digibros, or Modal Soul Productions, or any other things. Originally, these were merely places he used to upload other things, like podcasts, impressions of movies, and video games he's experienced, and other stuff unrelated to his main focus, which recently have been used to house his main content frequently. This is due to his channel being taken down a number of times due to YouTube's flagging and content policies, making him uneasy about hosting videos with long-form footage of shows. Well, that's kind of true, but also it's not so much uneasy as incapable of hosting long-form content of shows, which is not true right now, beautifully. Because of this, Digibro also usually posts his reviews in textual form on his blog, My Sword is Unbelievably Dull. Not true. That's not why I post them. I've always posted text versions of my posts, even back in the Pony days, because I'm originally a text blogger. All of these are written as text posts. All of my videos are written as just a full, like, article, and then I just read it into a microphone and edit video over it. The only times that's not true, you'll find those videos don't have text versions. Anytime there's like an unscripted video like this one, there will be no text version because it's completely unscripted. You know, it's not like I record the video and then write out a transcript of what I said. I just think that for some people, the text version will be helpful. I've heard a lot of people say, like, those who don't understand English that well, or you know, can't process everything I say because I talk pretty fast, love having text versions. My friend Ghost Lightning, like, in the early days of my writing, he always just read the text versions. He didn't watch the videos until more recently when he got into YouTube. You know, because there's a lot of people with poor internet connections, like, especially if you live in other countries, who might not be able to load a whole video. So I just think having the text version is a good way that, for the incredibly small number of people who, for one reason or another, have trouble with the video, they can read the text version. Finally, he has a Let's Play channel called Digibros. Hey, they did mention it, where he plays games with his brothers. It's just weird that they like, mentioned the other two, and then, like, this one's just kind of tacked on. Maybe they only noticed it later. Alright, so when we get into the tropes, so there's tropes that my videos themselves like, use, and then there's tropes that I am talking about in my videos. So I think I'll skip those ones because they're kind of a repeat of what we're going to get up here. But here's some stuff my videos provide example of. Accentuate the negative. The entire point of his Sword Art Online video, and more recently his Asterisk War videos, to accentuate the negative. Fairly true. More that there's no positives. Berserk button. He strongly objects to the idea that we shouldn't think or analyze things, believing that it shouldn't be necessary to turn his brain off to enjoy something. This is sort of a berserk button. I mean, I probably have a lot, but yeah, that's fine. Bias steamroller. Although he is willing to give credit to some shows where he thinks they deserve it, he does not believe in the value of biased and unfair reviews. Wait, what? And considers the primary focus of his channel to be dissecting why I like or dislike the things that I do. I think he meant the value of unbiased and fair reviews are what I don't believe in the value of. Yeah, like, that's the point they're trying to make, but he said it all backwards. In his first year Anime Sucks Sword Art Online 2 video, he makes no secret of the fact that he hates the series with every fiber of his being, and this hatred also extends to the Asterisk War and A1 Pictures shows in general. He's admitted to even disliking Shinsekai Yori and having a low starting opinion of Erased because of who animated them. Now that is fucking bullshit. There's this was where, I think it was when I read this article that I first decided, like, I got hung up on this, because, like, there was this widespread belief based on my Asterisk War videos, which is unfounded. Whenever people think stuff like this, it's always because they're not paying close enough attention to my wording. But when I made the podcast where we talked about all the new season shows, I was saying that, like, knowing that A1 Pictures makes a show gives me low confidence in it being good. But it doesn't make me dislike the show, because that makes no sense. Like, not liking something because of the studio that made it is insanity. The reason I don't like A1 Pictures is because consistently I watch their shows and don't like them. And Shinsekai Yori is an example of a show that that's why I don't like A1 Pictures, is because I don't like shows like Shinsekai Yori after watching them, you know? Like, at the time that show came out, I had no negative opinion about A1 Pictures. I just thought they were any other studio. And I when they first started, I liked a bunch of their shows. I was excited about A1 Pictures when they first came out, because they did a lot of original and interesting shows. And, like, I watched the first 4 episodes of Shinsekai Yori, and I hated them completely. I hated everything about that show. It was just, like, everything I could possibly not want was there. So, you know, it's this weird, like, putting the cart before the horse thing that, like, certain people have about they think I have about A1 Pictures. It's super weird, and, like, I kind of get why some people think that, but it's not logical. And like what fucks with me about it is that it's like I'm a media analyst guy, right? Like I feel like even if you totally disagree with my points, because I get comments like this all the time, right? I disagree with you, but your points are valid, or your points are well thought out. You know, I get a lot of comments like that. And it's like, if you think, based on my videos, that I'm an intelligent guy, why would you then assume that I have crazy beliefs? Unless you don't think that's crazy, but I think it's crazy. I think the idea of being like, well, I hate this show because A1 Pictures made it, I would find that insane, you know? I hate A1 Pictures because I hate all their shows. If they made a great show, I would go, well, that's an exception. I don't hate that show. You know, there's some shows by them that I've loved. Sora no Oto was one of my favorite shows. It was my favorite show of 2010 at the time. So yeah, like, I don't know. Anyway, he later clarified on Twitter that he doesn't hate their shows merely because they are A1 shows, and that his dislike of A1 is based on having individually disliked the majority of their shows. So someone else has come in and corrected this, apparently, after I tweeted that based on reading this article. What you should have done, whoever wrote that, was just delete the previous sentence because it's not true. Like, you're having a debate with yourself in the article. Like, the way these kinds of articles are meant to be written is as though they have one author. Like, even though it's edited by a collective of people, you're trying to create one central point. But this is like arguing with itself in the middle of the article, which makes no sense. Deadpan Snarker falls into this occasionally. He also notes that he's a fan of Little Miss Snarker characters. I did say that in the Asterisk War series. Despair Event Horizon went into one after his channel takedowns, even holding up a gun to his head as a dark joke. I actually held up 2 guns to my head as a dark joke. Driven to Suicide, one of his responses to getting his channel taken down, pretending to do this. 4-point scale. Discussed and defied, Digi is a believer in using the full scale, and even released a vlog on the subject. So someone is updating this. This was not here last time I read this. Regarding scoring some shows like Asterisk War, SAO, and Erased on the lower end. Freakout has a positively epic one in the first part of the Sword Online 2 review when he's informed that the characters are physically incapable of logging out of the game during the tournament. With epic music behind him, he begins demanding how that makes any sense from a logical standpoint, rather than as a plot device, while the video zooms out and train wrecks and other videos of people flipping out in front of a computer start playing in the background. Oh, third part. I was going to say that was in part 3. Yeah, the third part of his Sword Online 2 review. Yeah, that epic music was the ending theme of Welcome to the NHK. Pet the Dog, when describing the flaws of the Asterisk War series, specifically the main character's unwanted harem, he pointed out that even Kirito ended up getting past the dorky, afraid of being intimate stereotype, and even bumped up SAO's rating by 0.5 on the theory that it could be salvageable. Screw this, I'm out of here, and his anime is getting lazy with his meta video while discussing the little sister genre, specifically the genre codifier anime Oreimo. So yeah, that's another new addition. Self-deprecation engages in this occasionally, like saying that justify these stupid emotions is hard when speaking of his massive dislike of A1 Pictures. So, this trend may not be as evident yet, but if you were to read this whole page, what you'd eventually realize is that almost all of it is like examples just from my negative videos. It's all from Asterisk War and Sword Art Online videos, and then like with sprinkles in of like now the erased stuff and the anime is getting lazy with its meta stuff, but it's like someone who only watched my negative stuff made this page, and like you know, and like I'm seeing like anime's getting lazy with its meta brought up a few times. It's like all negative stuff. It's really funny to me that there's no mention of like all the things I've talked about in great shows that I love, you know. It's all just about the SAO and Asterisk War videos, which I mean is kind of fair. Those were my like the biggest projects I've done, the ones that had the most eyeballs. Like, it makes me sad, and I know Devu feels the same way, but we both feel really sad that the Psychopaths vs. Psychopaths 2 videos have like so little attention when they're every bit as detailed and like in depth as the Sword Online and the Asterisk War series. Like, it's the same thing, but for whatever reason, I mean, part of it's because all those videos were fucking, had to be redirected to goddamn Dailymotion and shit. But we've even talked about, like, re-editing them just to get them onto YouTube to, like, no one fucking watched them, you know? It's the saddest thing in the world. that I'm only known for SAO and Astro Score, when my Psychopaths vs. Psychopaths 2 series was like every bit as great, in my opinion. Going to page 2 of Google, I've got my Twitter again, SoundCloud, Tumblr. Oh lord, do I even want to know what people are saying about me on Tumblr? Typically when I search my, oh man, it's like a bunch of posts of my rap and shit. My baby metal. What does this say? This is interesting. It says, "Hey guys, Def Pony here. Now this may not be anti-corn related, I don't know what that means, but I figured this fit. So for some wondering what is Digi doing now that he isn't a brony, well, besides reviewing anime, he did a review with no other than the Needle Drop about baby metal. Yes, that is a band name. Now putting aside music gasms, this is a weird mix. From my knowledge, Digi does not have specialized in music in his reviews. So why include him? Because he's an anime fan? That's just me. I'm not bashing or hating, I just find it weird. Give your thoughts through reblogs and replies, folks." I guess he must have missed that, like, Anthony Fantano interviewed me like 2 weeks before this on his channel. Fantano's been following, like, Fantano subscribed to me in like late 2014, based on my videos Art is About Pressing Your Buttons and Expanding the Conversation on Game Difficulty. You'll find comments from him on both of those videos. He subscribed not long after. I don't know how much he actually watches of them, but and he followed me on Twitter like a long ass time ago. And I've been following him since 2013. I respond to some of his videos, I respond to some of his tweets, so, you know, we've always had a sort of dialogue. And then he invited me onto his show, we had a good time, and when he was going to review, like, he was mentioning baby metal on Twitter, and I was like, he didn't seem like he was going to review it, but once I offered to co-review it, then I knew he would be interested, so, like, it was a good way to get that organized. Man, it looks like people post a lot of my stuff on Tumblr now. There was a long time where if I searched myself on Tumblr, it was mostly just people talking about how shit I am and, like, social justice warriors being mad at me for one reason or another. But, yeah. How to be a good feminist. Well, where does this mention me? I'm gonna just fucking Control F Digibro. Oh, I'm, like, right at the top. Okay. Someone was introduced to a professor through a comment on one of my videos. Huh. This is an interesting, weird post, but apparently some like professor of feminism or something commented on one of my videos, and that person found him. Good for you. Yeah, a lot of this is just Urishima, who's a friend of mine and a frequent commenter of the channel. Yeah, wow. My reputation on Tumblr seems to have really healed over the years. Here's a best of YouTube post with my fucking shit in it and some Nerdwriter. I don't know this thing, but I don't know who this is, but oh, it's RC Anime. I've heard of that person, but I haven't watched their videos yet. Should check them out sometime. All right, my Bandcamp. This is just like I guess the albums I've bought on Bandcamp. The Needle Drop podcast with me on it. Interesting that that's so high up. My Google Plus, Facebook, posting about me on the Ava Geeks forum about my Who is Hideaki Anno series, and a DeviantArt tag of Digibro. Looks like mostly Digibrony stuff. Yeah, I don't know how far I want to go through this. This is already a pretty long video, so I guess we can end it there. What is this? Oh, it's just like a aggregator site. Yeah, so that's what happens if you Google me. Fun stuff. I kind of like I knew we weren't gonna get any like weird crazy shit, but like I thought it would be really funny to go through those, particularly the TV tropes and YouTube wiki page, because it's like everything else is kind of my content, so it's all like governed by me, but it's like I'm always fascinated to see how other people describe me or summarize me and, like, you know, describe like what I am in the context of like writing a wiki page or something like that, because I don't think I'm famous enough to be on Wikipedia yet, and I'm not a meme enough to be on Know Your Meme or anything. So like the TV tropes page I feel like is the best one in terms of like TV tropes can be a really great version of Wikipedia. Like, it can be really helpful sometimes. I think when I was researching Nanoha for my lyrical Nanoha series videos, like that was the best resource, was TV tropes, because they had like the most complete guide to the series. So, you know, that one's the closest to being the right article. It's just really funny that so much of the information is like just about my biggest video series, you know, and not about like any of my other opinions or anything else about me. Um, so yeah, I hope that was enjoyable for someone, because it was for me.